Congratulations, you have been hired for a night shift as a morgue technician at St. Mercy's Hospital. Your job is to maintain the cold storage units, log any new arrivals, ensure all bodies remain properly tagged and stored, monitor the facility throughout the night, and follow the rules, especially rule number 7. Rule number 1. Your shift begins at midnight sharp, and the first thing you must do is check the temperature of all 6 cold storage units. Each unit should read exactly 38 degrees Fahrenheit. The digital displays are located on the front of each unit, glowing blue in the dim basement light. If any unit reads a different temperature, even by a single degree, do not attempt to adjust it yourself. Instead, note the unit number and the incorrect temperature in the logbook. Then move to the corner of the room where a red emergency phone is mounted on the wall. Pick up the receiver and simply state the unit number. Do not say anything else. You will hear 3 clicks on the line, then silence. Hang up. Within 5 minutes, the temperature will correct itself. What you must understand is that these units are not malfunctioning when the temperature changes. Something inside is generating heat. A previous technician ignored a temperature spike in Unit 4, dismissing it as a mechanical issue. By 3 a.m., the unit was reading 72 degrees. When he finally opened it to investigate, he found the body inside sitting upright, skin flushed and warm to the touch, eyes open and tracking his movements. The body had been declared dead for 16 hours. He quit that very night and never spoke about what happened when those eyes met his. Rule number 2. In the center of the morgue, there is a large stainless steel examination table with a drain in the middle. This table should always be empty and clean when you arrive for your shift. However, if you ever find a white sheet draped over the table, as if covering something beneath it, do not approach the table. Do not lift the sheet. Do not try to see what is underneath. Instead, turn off all the lights in the morgue immediately using the main switch by the door, then go sit at your desk in the corner and wait in complete darkness. You should wait for exactly 15 minutes. Count the seconds if you must. During this time, you will hear sounds from the direction of the table. Movement. The rustle of fabric. Sometimes a long, slow exhale of breath. Do not react. Do not turn on your phone light. Do not look toward the table. After 15 minutes, turn the lights back on. The sheet will be gone, and the table will be empty and clean, just as it should be. A former technician became curious during one of these occurrences. She lifted the corner of the sheet, just slightly, to peek underneath. She saw her own face staring back at her, grey and lifeless, mouth sewn shut with black thread. She dropped the sheet and stumbled backward. For the rest of her shift, she felt an unbearable cold radiating from her chest, as if her heart had frozen solid inside her body. She resigned the next day. Rule number 3. There are exactly 42 storage drawers in the morgue, arranged in 6 units of 7 drawers each. Every night, you must count the drawers during your initial rounds. Count them carefully. Touch each handle as you count to make sure you do not lose track. If you count and find there are 43 drawers, you need to identify which one is the extra. The additional drawer will appear completely identical to the others, but it will be in a position that creates an asymmetry you will feel rather than see. When you find this extra drawer, you must not open it under any circumstances. Mark its location mentally, then continue your shift while avoiding that section of the morgue. The extra drawer will be gone by morning, vanishing as mysteriously as it appeared. The contents of this drawer are not meant for the living to witness. A technician 2 years ago opened the extra drawer out of skepticism, convinced it was just a counting error on his part. Inside, he found himself. Not a body that looked like him, but actually himself, wearing the same clothes, the same ID badge, same everything. The body's eyes opened, and it grabbed his wrist with a grip like ice. He managed to pull away and slam the drawer shut, but his wrist bore frostbite burns in the exact shape of fingerprints. The extra drawer appears when the boundary between this morgue and something else grows thin. Rule number 4. The morgue has a single window, small and rectangular, set high on the wall near the ceiling. This window looks out at ground level into the hospital's interior courtyard, which is not used at night. You can see the bases of benches, dead grass, and the bottom portion of an old stone fountain that has not worked in decades. You should never see anything moving past this window. The courtyard is enclosed and locked after dark. However, if you see shadows moving past the window, or if you see something press itself against the glass and peer down into the morgue, do not look directly at it. Avert your eyes immediately and begin humming. Any tune will work, a song from childhood, a melody you remember, anything that creates continuous sound. Keep humming and continue your work without looking at the window until the presence moves away. You will know it has left when you feel a sudden release of pressure in the room, as if you had been underwater and just surfaced. What looks in through that window is drawn to the morgue by the concentration of death here. It is searching for something specific, though no one knows what. A technician made eye contact with the thing at the window. She described it as having too many eyes, all of them human, all of them blinking independently. After holding its gaze for just a few seconds, she began seeing those same eyes everywhere, reflected in every shiny surface, watching her constantly. She was found 3 days later having scratched out every mirror, every window, and every reflective surface in her apartment. Rule number 5. At exactly 2 a.m. every night, the overhead lights in the morgue will flicker 3 times, then dim to about half their normal brightness for 60 seconds before returning to full illumination. This is normal and expected. However, if the lights ever go out completely, plunging the morgue into total darkness, you must immediately drop to the floor and lie flat on your back, arms at your sides, and close your eyes. Do not move. Do not make a sound. Breathe as shallowly and quietly as possible. You will feel things moving around you in the darkness. Footsteps on the tile floor. The sound of drawers opening and closing. Cold air moving past your face as if something is leaning over you, inspecting you. You may even feel fingers touching your face, your hands, checking you the way a technician checks a body. Remain absolutely still. These things are determining whether you are dead or alive. If you move, if you react, they will know you are alive, and they do not appreciate the living being present during their time. After approximately 5 minutes, the lights will come back on. Open your eyes slowly, stand up, and continue your shift. Do not acknowledge what happened. A technician panicked during a complete blackout and ran for the door, screaming. The lights came on just as he reached it, and every drawer in the morgue was open, every single one, and he swore he saw something pulling itself back into the drawers, something that moved wrong. Rule number 6. There is a wheeled gurney that sits in the corner near the freight elevator, the elevator used to bring bodies down from the upper floors. This gurney should never have anything on it. It should always be empty, the white sheet folded neatly at the foot. If you ever see a body bag on this gurney, fully zipped and bulging with obvious weight inside, do not unzip it. Do not check the tag. Do not touch it at all. What you need to do is wheel the gurney into the freight elevator. Press the button for the 4th floor, then step out before the doors close. The elevator will ascend. You will hear it stop at the 4th floor. The doors will open and close. Then the elevator will return to the basement, and when the doors open, the gurney will be empty again, the sheet folded neatly at the foot. The 4th floor of St. Merce's Hospital was closed in 1987 after a fire killed everyone in the psychiatric ward. It has never been renovated or reopened. What is in that body bag is trying to return to where it died, and you are simply helping it complete its journey. A technician once unzipped the bag, thinking it was a legitimate delivery that had been improperly logged. Inside was a badly burned body, charred black, mouth open in a permanent scream. The body's eyes opened, and it whispered a room number. That technician became obsessed with the 4th floor, trying every night to access it, claiming he had to find that room. Security eventually banned him from the building. Rule number 7. This is the most important rule. At 3 a.m., you will hear knocking coming from inside one of the storage drawers. 3 slow, deliberate knocks. Knock, knock, knock. Do not try to determine which drawer the knocking is coming from. Do not investigate. The moment you hear the knocking, go to the supply closet, step inside, and close the door behind you. Turn on the light inside the closet. There is a small metal folding chair in there. Sit in the chair facing the door and wait. You will hear the knocking continue, louder now, more insistent. You will hear the sound of a drawer sliding open. You will hear something heavy drop onto the floor with a wet, thick sound. You will hear footsteps, slow and dragging, moving around the morgue. You will hear it searching. Do not open the closet door. Do not make any noise. After exactly 10 minutes, the sounds will stop. Wait another full minute in silence, then open the door and return to the morgue. Everything will appear normal. All drawers will be closed. Nothing will be out of place. But you must never see what comes out of that drawer at 3 a.m. A technician decided to hide and watch one night, crouching behind the desk with his phone camera recording. The footage shows a drawer opening from the inside. What emerged was not fully visible in the dim light, but it moved across the floor, leaving a trail of something dark and wet, searching the room methodically. The video cuts out suddenly with a sound like a scream being choked off. The technician was found the next morning inside one of the storage drawers, alive but unresponsive, his eyes wide and unblinking. He has never spoken since. Whatever walks the morgue at 3 a.m. must not be witnessed. Rule number 8. The morgue's drainage system produces sounds throughout the night, gurgles and drips from the pipes overhead and the floor drains. These sounds are constant and normal. However, if you ever hear water running in the autopsy sink, the large industrial sink in the corner that is used for washing instruments and cleaning, and you know you did not turn it on, do not approach the sink to turn it off. The water will be running at full pressure, steaming hot, and the sink will be filling up despite the drain being open. Stand at least 10 feet away from the sink and announce clearly, "The cleaning is complete. The debts are paid." The water will stop immediately. The sink will be empty and dry, as if it had never been running at all. The water is not really water. It is a manifestation of something trying to wash itself clean, something that died on one of these tables decades ago and cannot accept that its body is long gone. A previous technician tried to turn off the water manually, reaching into the steaming flow to grip the handles. The water burned him severely, but worse than the burns was what he saw swirling in the sink. Hair, teeth, fragments of bone, pieces of a body coming apart under high pressure. He yanked his hands back, but for weeks afterward, he felt like his skin was melting, like he was dissolving from the inside out. He took a leave of absence and never returned. Rule number 9. In the storage room where supplies are kept, boxes of body bags, toe tags, and cleaning chemicals, there is a large mirror mounted on the back wall. This mirror is old, the silvering degraded around the edges, and it reflects the room with a strange distortion that makes everything look slightly wrong. You may need to enter this storage room during your shift to retrieve supplies. When you do, do not look directly into the mirror. Keep your eyes on the shelves, find what you need, and leave. If you accidentally catch your reflection, you may notice that your reflection is not moving in sync with you. It may be looking in a different direction. It may be smiling when you are not. If this happens, leave the room immediately and do not return for at least 30 minutes. The reflection in that mirror is not quite you. It is something that wears your face and studies your mannerisms, learning how to be you. A technician spent too long looking at his reflection in that mirror, fascinated by the slight delay in its movements. When he finally looked away, he felt fundamentally wrong, as if he was the reflection and something else was now living his life. He reported feeling like he was trapped behind glass, watching someone else control his body. He quit within days, claiming he was not himself anymore, that something else was looking out through his eyes. Rule number 10. Your shift ends at 6 a.m. when the day staff arrives. At 5:45 a.m., you must perform a final walkthrough of the morgue. Check that all drawers are closed and properly sealed, that the examination table is clean and empty, that all lights are functioning, and that the logbook is updated. This is standard procedure. However, if during this final walkthrough you see a body lying on the floor, not on a gurney, not on the table, just lying directly on the cold tile floor in the center of the room, you must step over it and continue your inspection as if it is not there. Do not look at its face. Do not check for identification. Do not acknowledge its presence in any way. Complete your walkthrough, gather your belongings, and when the day staff arrives at 6 a.m., leave immediately. Do not mention the body on the floor. The day staff will not see it. It is not there for them. It is only visible to those who have worked through the night, those who have existed in the morgue during the dark hours when the barrier is thinnest. A technician tried to help what he thought was a person who had collapsed. He knelt beside the body and rolled it over to check for breathing. The face he saw was his own, eyes open and staring, skin grey and cold. The body grabbed his wrist and pulled him down with strength that should not exist in the dead. He managed to break free, but he saw his own corpse stand up and walk toward the storage drawers, moving with horrible purpose. He fled the morgue and never returned, convinced that he had somehow encountered his own death, a preview of his inevitable end. Your job is to maintain, to observe, and to survive. The basement morgue of St. Mercy's Hospital is not simply a place where the dead are stored. It is a place where the boundary between life and death grows thin, where the dead do not rest quietly, and where things that should not exist move freely in the darkness. Follow these rules exactly. They were written by those who learned through terror and tragedy. Do not assume you know better. Do not let curiosity override caution. The morgue tolerates your presence, but it does not welcome you. You are a guest in a realm that belongs to the dead. Respect that. Fear that. And above all, follow the rules. Especially rule number 7. Your survival depends on it. Welcome to St. Mercy's Hospital Basement Morgue. Try to make it to morning.